We are on Game 2 of the finals, the USC Growling Tigers and the Ateneo Blue Eagles. We'll be back with more of the hardcore action right here on Studio 23 Kabarkada Mo.
As we welcome you to the big dome, the Araneta Coliseum, it's still halftime. The University of Santo Tomas trying to stay alive in the series after losing game 1 again, 48-38. And the inside seems to be their territory, Ryan.
That's right, and also in the second quarter, they have outscored the Ateneo de Manila University 27-18. So right now, the end of 2 quarters, USC up 48-38. But again, majority of the points coming from inside the paint. That's what you've mentioned, one of my key points earlier for UST to win in this ballgame.
Absolutely, and the outside shooting of Ateneo, which they usually go to, like in terms of Chris Chu and trying to get something from Guy Reyes, nothing there. And the inside game is all UST, and some of the numbers will reveal that.
Bench scoring also big strength for the Growling Tigers here in Game 2, 23. Only 7 for the Ateneo de Manila University. Offensive rebounding, we've been talking about it time and again. 11-6. Second chance points also 11 points for the Growling Tigers. Turnovers, you've mentioned this earlier, Seth. UST really has taken good care of that letter here in this ballgame. Only 2 turnovers to show as compared to 9 from the Ateneo de Manila University.
And in the first half, it was basically a JC Intal, Dylan Ababu's show. In the meantime, some young members of the Blue Bamboo Battalion tried to get their own 15 seconds of fame, but no question about the fame this guy is accomplishing here in this final season of his in the UAAP.
That's right, 16 points to show for JC Intal in the first 2 quarters of action, while coming off the bench, Dylan Ababu scoring 11, majority coming from offensive rebounds, if not all. So Dylan Ababu really stepping up big time for the bench players of Coach Pido Harencio.
It is an intensity that UST has that is keeping them alive in the series. It is a fire that is hard to explain, to put a number or a word on it.
Definitely, they have forgotten what happened to them in Game 1. I've talked about mental toughness earlier. Forget about Game 1. And so far, it looks like they're really raring to win Game 2.
And of course, game number 1 going the way of the Blue Eagles with that 1-second conversion by Doug Kramer. Boy, they're starting them young. I can imagine Ateneo and Sambedo also reuniting.
Yes, that's right.
Sambedo, of course, winning already the NCAA. But let's go through your checklist, Coach, and check on what are the things that the coaches or the teams did well in that first half.
Well, for Coach Pido Harencio, definitely his coaching will come into play after dropping that nail-biter. He really has to make sure that his players forget about what happened to them. Of course, again, it's easier said than done, but so far in the first 20 minutes of action, it looks like they have moved on. While inside scoring, they've shot majority of their points inside the paint. These are all high percentage shots. Their percentage is very high from the field, and Coach Pido really likes what he sees so far in the first 2 quarters.
Okay, interestingly enough, the inside points actually find Ateneo in front 22-14. The voice you heard was Boya Villera, who's trying to help me here. Our voice, our scorer. But the interesting part is that natutulungan ng opensa ng UST with some sniping from the outside.
That's correct. Of course, we've mentioned the Spiritu hitting it big from beyond the arc. Even Alan Evangelista scoring majority of his points from the perimeter. And that, of course, is aiding the campaign of USC Growling Tigers here in Game 2. While for Coach Norman Black, 2 points, control the rebounds, and score in transition. 2 things that they have not done so well here in this particular ball game. 25 overall rebounds from UST and only 23 for Ateneo. But the bigger story really is the 11 offensive rebounds carried by UST and only 6 for the Ateneo de Manila University. Perimeter shooters must also be on target, and thus far, only JC Intal has found his mark with 16 markers. Chris Chu with only 2 points. Jai Reyes has not gotten a lot of good looks from the outside. Even Maki Escalona has only accounted for 2 points here in this ballgame.
And don't forget that the UAAP NCAA All-Star games will happen on October 7th at 1 o'clock at the Phil Sports Arena. And even as I'm talking, Ateneo firing off quickly. All-Star game for the juniors, 2-3 ball, 3-point shootout. Tickets available, TicketNet, SM Department Store, Araneta Coliseum, Ticket Booth, Patron 150, lower box 100, general admission 50. Boy, everything Ateneo comes up with, UST has an answer.
That's right, Jojo Duncil hitting also after Escalona's incursion earlier.
Doug Kramer, close range, won't work. And here comes Uste. It's a 10-point game. Biggest lead enjoyed by UST, stood at 13. That will not work, and Chris Chu has the rebound. Here comes Escalona, spearheading the attack, pushing hard. Blocked. Escalona hoping for a foul, getting nothing there. It's on to Duncil. Duncil aims, three, if it bites, it does.
Jojo Duncil really finding his mark here. 5 points here in the third quarter for a total of 12 here. And USC enjoying a 13-point lead once again.
A repeat of their biggest advantage. Intal in the box, and he's nudged from the side. Let's go to Leah Cruz, who has her mic ready and a smile and a report as well.
Thank you, Seth. Tempers flared in the dugout during halftime. Coach Roman Black demanded to know why they weren't playing like it is a championship game. To put it simply, he was appalled with the way his boys are playing here. He talked about their lackluster energy, and especially with how they are getting killed on the boards. He put extreme emphasis on rebounds. He told them to play physical. He said to make your foul shots and protect the basket. Back to you, Seth.
Thanks a lot, Leah. And as expected, subject matter very much the rebounds. And the intensity was a problem for the Blue Eagles. In the meantime, Canlas with an offensive foul. Chris Chu helping along, selling that call.
That's right. Of course, there's a huge mismatch. And knowing the game plan of Coach Pido Arencio, he has an advantage with Canlas being guarded by Chris Chu underneath the basket. But Chris Chu now on his 4th year as a Blue Eagle, playing more mature now defensively.
There's Gibson, and they're trying to set up Chris Chu. And it's a bad screen. It's an illegal thing by Gibson. And of course, without saying it, I know that we are on additional airtime from Studio 23. Thank you very much. It's an unusual day here on Studio 23. We also had the awards earlier. Ken Bono, of course, winning the MVP award. 53-40 is the count. UST is in front comfortably at 13 points. 7:56 to go. Second or third warning now. Norman Black asking who is complaining. And there he is working the official. In the meantime, dribbling problem for Duncil. Evangelista tries to save the situation. UST simply out-rebounding Ateneo. We're going to have an unsportsmanlike foul. Against 2, that should be interesting.
I want to see that again. Jervy Cruz again getting the offensive rebound, and Kim Son with his momentum. Fouling Jervy Cruz hard.
Guilty of the unsportsmanlike foul, which will be his 4th foul.
Might be frustration also on the part of Kim Son. He had the inside position there, but somehow Jervy Cruz, again, using his quickness and his timing in getting that rebound, was able to color that one. And 2 free throws plus ball possession for the Growling Tigers. But still, the miseries continue for Jervy Cruz from the free throw line.
Donna, what do you have about UST?
All positive is what I'm hearing right now, the court side of UST. According to them, we are just doing fine, and the boys are still pumped up and is really in the mood of winning today. The Tigers just need to sustain their game on the first half and work even harder. That'll be all, Seb. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Donna. And now you saw Pido Arencio practicing his free throw shooting simply because Jervy Cruz is struggling with 3 of 9 from the free throw line.
Pidoy is such a motivator. He did not
yes.
give a negative facial expression on Jervin. In fact, he gave him a lot of confidence and just make that stroke. Somehow it's going to fall in the end.
Here's Chris Chu, goes to Intal. Intal trying to dazzle his defender with a dribble, gets it to go. JC's just carrying this team on his shoulders right now.
It's just a JC Intal show here for the Ateneo de Manila University. And nobody can stop JC as well. So I think the primary defender has done its job to force JC to penetrate. Unfortunately, that time, the help side defense was late. So JC, 18 points across his name, plus a chance to score one more. And more importantly, bring Ateneo back to just 10 points. Now, they're looking at an 11-point deficit.
Evangelista committed that foul against Intal, the third foul of Evangelista, and Intal is on the strike for the bonus. 7:11 to go in the third quarter. Again, earlier today, we had UST winning the women's title. We had Ateneo winning the junior title. Rebound battle now. It's won by UST as Intal missed the free throw. Jumps. Guan makes it.
Post-to-post layup. He was the one who kept the ball alive, and he was also the guy who finished off that fast break score for the UST Growling Tigers. Again, back to 13. The biggest lead being enjoyed once again was the UST.
And in the meantime, Christian tries it from top of the keyhole. It does not work. Here comes Nunzil trying to rush at the shot. A little too strong. Pido Harencio was trying to slow his team down because they did not have the numbers. Here comes Intal. Intal downstairs to Escalona in traffic. Looks for Chris Chu. Chris Chu dazzling. And there's a blocking foul. Could have gone either way.
That's right, but the referee is always a better vantage point than us. Blocking foul will be called against Alan Evangelista. His fourth personal foul, so that doesn't speak well on the rotation, especially on the front line by Coach Pido. Of course, Evangelista really is expected to score and defend for his team.
Cannon power shot, fast break being unfurled by Japs Kuan. You know, when it's a layup, Kuan has no problem. It's his outside shooting that needs work, and he knows it. There's JC Intal. Ababu is waltzing with it. Intal gets it back. Tiptoe for it, hoping for a foul. Well, Ateneo should stop officiating the game.
Right.
In the meantime, this is a scoop shot by Dizon, who played well in the first half. Unable to get it to go. And here comes Escalona trying to set up the table. Escalona down the middle. Outside Intal lets it fly. Three, overcooking it. Rebound in the hands of Arau. Chris Chu wants a three. Backs it in.
It's not every day that you'll see Chris Chu wide open for that shot, and Coach Pido Harencio is so mad because again the game plan is stay home on Chris Chu. First three-point shot here for Chris.
Because that was what they were doing exactly in the first half, frustrating Chris Chu and unable to get Ateneo, unable to get its offense working and going. In the meantime, that is going to go outside for the Blue Eagles. And a timeout charge to the Blue Eagles. This is the first ski from three-point distance. A Sun Cellular Better Network, Better Value 3 by Chris Chu. And we will be back after this. Back with us here, 5 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And UST still in command here. Fast break, success!
Once again, Ababu making sure that he will be the first one to sprint on their front court to finish that fast break again for them. But Cortez really with a great eye for that forward pass, giving that nice dish off. While a huge development here, an offensive foul will be called against Chris Chu as we take a look at the great finish by Dylan Ababu. Third personal foul against Chris Chu. And UST again in possession here and a chance to increase their 12-point lead.
In full control of this third quarter. Still no signs of a major Ateneo uprising. Here's Taylor, top of the keyhole. Cortez. Taylor travel.
Taylor looking for an option to penetrate. But once he's there, it's just a ball mover, so a turnover.
Yes. And 57-45, 4.5 minutes remaining. UST trying to tie up this series. Chris Chu zips it over to Intal. Intal, baseline attack. Isbal will go to the line.
So JC Intal really trying to attack the basket even if he doesn't score on the layup. He made sure in that particular incursion that he will go to the free throw line. JC 18 points out of the 45 of the Ateneo de Manila University, and really single-handedly the main man for the Blue Eagles.
In the meantime, as Gary Lissing enjoys himself, because you know who he's cheering for, si JC Intal will not shoot straight up, you know. He needs some kind of vuelo talaga.
Yes.
To start his motion. He'll not shoot straight, except for that three-point shot earlier. But this is a major improvement over last year, wherein JC was not really bent on shooting his jump shot.
That's right. I think his confidence level really has gone up this season. He's not only shooting from the perimeter, he's also shooting from way beyond the three-point area, as evidenced by his 2 3-point shots in today's ballgame. Oh, that's a flagrant. That's a flagrant.
And Espiritu says he was going for the ball, but it was obvious that there was body contact. Hard, in fact.
Yes, Espiritu making sure that there'll be no end one, but just excessive contact there, which will definitely warrant a flagrant foul. So 2 free throws. Chris Chu looks shaken a little, but it's a tough nut to crack, so he will just shake it off a little and shoot 2 free throws. Plus Ateneo, this might just be the momentum shift that Ateneo is waiting here in this ballgame.
4 minutes and 3 seconds remaining. UST ahead by 11. Chris Chu nails the first. The last thing that UST would want is for this guy to wax on.
Yes.
Ateneo will retain possession. You know, Chris Chu being asked by the official if he's okay. Parang boxing, ano? Tinanong mo. Where are you?
Okay ba?
You're at the Araneta Coliseum. 4:03 remaining. It's a 9-point game. Escalona sees daylight. This is a different ballgame now.
That's right. Down to 7 points in Maki Escalona. Really taking Jun Cortez to school. 8 points for Maki. UST just up by 7.
Lizon had a good first half. Tries to extricate. Goes up. Ends up with nothing. Kramer battling inside and a foul on UST.
So 2 free throws. That loose ball foul will merit 2 gift shots for the Blue Eagles. Dylan Ababu called for that loose ball, and 3:35 left. Ateneo might be heading for a comeback here in the third quarter.
Trying to take advantage of the fact that UST already in the penalty.
Oh, yes.
And Ateneo on the other hand with 3 team fouls. Doug Kramer on the stripe.
Doug has been silent after erupting for 6 points in the first quarter. He has only scored 1 point thus far for a 7-point total for him. And a missed free throw.
Split from the stripe. It's a 6-point game. 3:34 remaining in an eternity of basketball, plus the entire fourth quarter. Again, thank you to Studio 23 for the generous amount of airtime. It's an unusual day here in the UAAP. In the meantime, good cut by Duncil. Good pop. He gets it to go.
Nice movement without the ball once again. And Jojo Duncil, just a slight opening was enough for him to take that perimeter jumper. And stops the bleeding a little.
UST needed that, sort of ease them down, calm them down in the face of this Ateneo uprising. Intel goes up with nothing. Good slip job by UST. They knew what JC was going to do. Duncil straight to the
Nice
hole.
pass
To Ababu.
Jojo Duncil creating with nice penetration with an even better assist pass to Dylan Ababu.
you, if you were USD, kinabahan ka kasi Jojo was going almost recklessly to
Yes.
the basket, but he had other things
Great
in mind.
control.
And a blocking foul against Duncil. Free throws forthcoming for the Blue Eagles.
Second personal foul against Jojo Duncil, but the main story here in the third quarter is with 4 minutes left here in the third, USC already in foul trouble. Team penalty.
At the 2:32 mark, UST maintaining a 10-point lead, hoping to stretch this series to another game come Monday. Back in a moment. A mammoth crowd of 17,000 will be scrambling for the exits no matter what happens here. Chris Chu on the stripe. I like the way that USD has continued to plug away, to keep Ateneo at bay, and they are enjoying this game and this Jack and Jill fantastic moment. Life is fun. Chris Chu nailing 2 charities, cutting down the lead to 8 with 2.5 remaining. Now the poise of USD will be tested here. We know that Ateneo will make a series of runs. USD won one big game against Adamson and then one against FPU in the clutch. This is a shot from the outside that does not work. 2:08 remaining. Chris Chu thought about it. Here's that familiar give and go that they love to work with. 2 to Kramer, back to 2.
Nice play there by the Ateneo de Manila University, but I'll go back to that defensive rebound by Chris Chu. We take a look at the slow-mo first. Again, his maturity, throwing the contact first and not losing his sight on that goal. Earlier, Coach Norman Black and even Leah during the halftime huddle talked about getting the defensive rebounds. Not just from the 4 or the 5 men, but also from the guards. Chris Chu was the one who got that rebound, and in the ensuing play was the one who finished off that fast break opportunity for the Blue Eagles.
Leah, what do you have?
Well, Sav, right now the most important thing for Coach Norman Black, which he mentioned in the last huddle, is to put together some stuff. This game is not over. He said we've got to work hard. In addition, he reminded them to get their hands active and watch out for drop passes, as well as to space the floor out. Back to you, Sev.
Thanks a lot, Leah. Here's Canlas, unable to nail it. Chris Chu all over everybody. And I think it's an Ateneo foul.
A loose ball foul this time will be called against Later. Since it's just the 4th team foul for the Blue Eagles, not yet. 2 free throws time for USD. Just a baseline out of bounds play for them.
Here's Dylan Ababu shopping around. Jojo Duncil on the receiving end. 1 minute and 36 remaining. Here's Duncil starting his grind. Unoffensive foul. Bad pick. The refs have called that consistently.
Yes, for as long as you move a little and then you do not establish position, it's been called from both teams right now, that illegal pick.
You know, when you set a screen, freeze. Don't move.
Yes.
Here's Doug Kramer. The jump shot is short. Rebound contested. Edo Harencio yelling for hustle. They're trying to go to Chris Chu. Chris Chu.
Oh, that's bad news.
Good. Yep, that's a good call. He was unable to check his momentum, and that is his 4th personal foul. Dire-diretso siya, tingnan mo rito.
Nawala ng control eh.
Saka nawala ng papasahan.
Yes. So decision.
Yep.
Decision-making time for Coach Norman with 1 and 10 remaining here in the third. Plus a full of 10 minutes in the fourth. 4 fouls na si Chris Chu.
Ababu trying to waltz with Later. Starts his drive. Ang hirap din depensa ni Ababu eh. No? Laki yan dumatry towards the basket. In the meantime, Later will be guilty of his 2nd foul, and that will be the penalty situation against Ateneo. Ateneo has been on a 10-4 run since that flagrant foul on Espiritu about 4 minutes ago here in the third quarter. Ababu's on the line. All concentration. Ababu may ginawang game nito against FPU. He was delivered some clutch free throws.
Ganda rin nung performance si Ababu coming off the bench. 16 points across his name. Make it 17.
And all boys.
Oo.
Kahit ginugulo siya ng mga blue balloons on the other end. And it's a 7-point game. Here's Kramer shopping around. These passes read nicely by Doncil. Was blocked by Intal. But it'll be a foul. There's body contact.
It was just a fishing expedition.
Walang pupuntahan.
Oh, from Jojo Doncil. He did not even look at the rim. He knows that there will be contact. And he just made sure and acted it out a little that the referees will not miss that call. 2 free throws will be given to Jojo Doncil.
Rigo Carencio working with his team. Meantime, Doncil gets those free throws. Takes care of the first.
Gerard Francisco, of course, in the 4-peat run of the Growling Tigers in the mid-90s. Talagang core siya rin, of course. His mom.
Mrs. Felicita San Francisco of UST. And Kramer will sit down. 65-56, 9-point lead. You like the way UST has kept Ateneo at bay. Yung mga uprisings ng Ateneo, pero UST, sige lang. Escalona, nothing. And even the outside shooting, sour for the Blue Eagles. Here's Doncil. They want to call a play. They could have the final say of this quarter. Doncil commits himself to the pass. Canlas bottled up. Salamat takes it away, and a foul given up by Canlas. And it'll mean free throws for Salamat.
Number 7 by Canlas is fourth penalty.
Coach Norman asking for an advantage foul.
For Eric Salamat.
13 seconds to go in the quarter. Free throw shooting not there for the Blue Eagles as well.
Chris Chu with 4 personal fouls rather has to hit the bench there. Coach Norman just can't gamble on Chris Chu right now.
Salamat hits the second free throw. It's down to 8 with 13 seconds remaining. Jeff's good. You like the way he's running this team. Calling the plays. Breaking loose. Missing the shot, however. Difficult follow-up, and that'll do it for the quarter. At the end of 3 quarters, USD still in front. They were in front at the end of halftime, 48-38, and are now leading 65-57 with still a full quarter remaining. The Nokia best play of the quarter, and USD enjoying this quarter, managing to keep the Blue Eagles at bay. The fourth quarter should be decisive. Back in a moment. The final quarter is underway. It is an 8-point lead by UST. Can they hang on and stretch the series to another game come Monday? Or will the Eagles manage to come back, and JC and Town hoping that they will?
This is the quarter that JC likes. Again in game 1, 10 out of the 16 points Ateneo were scored by JC, and what a way to open up this fourth quarter. JC accounting for the first 2 points.
Go on. Here's Doncil.
What a move.
Big steps. Let's see if Salamat can score, but he misses. Follow up, no. There's a foul already off the rebound of Salamat. I think the factor that we may have overlooked is the fact that Evangelista has been on the bench for quite a stretch because of his personal fouls.
That's right, of course. If we remember, in the first quarter, Alan Evangelista scored 6 straight points for the USC Growling Tigers, and right now, Ateneo has a chance to even chip into the 6-point lead being enjoyed by the Growling Tigers.
Baseline play, not there. There's a foul against USD. They whistled it against Cruz as he was trying to stop Later off the inbound play.
Alright, in the third quarter, this is one of the reasons why Ateneo was able to come back. Early foul trouble or early team penalty hounded the Growling Tigers, and as a result, too many free throws by the Ateneo de Manila University, and right now, already 2 team fouls called against UST.
Arau picks up the miss. Escalona launches. Nothing there. Mateos underneath. Takes care of business.
I can see Jerby right now. He cannot get his usual second or third shots. It might be fatigue factor hounding Jerby right now.
Leah, what do you have? Leah Cruz.
Well, right now, Sab, it's important for the Blue Eagles to get off to a good start in the fourth quarter. Coach Norman Black told his boys to make their defense work and to close out on USC shooters. He also reminded them to get into early foul trouble. Not to get into early foul trouble in the quarter, and of course to box out and rebound. Back to you, Seb.
Thanks a lot. In the meantime, I know what Norman is talking about as far as the close out, because it's not enough that you stop the shooters. You must get the rebound as well.
That's right.
And some of the UE players looking on him. some other people who are interested to be on television. Sa manong bitaw ni Jerby Cruz.
Wala nang confidence rin. But there are a lot of jostling and hustling underneath the basket between Jerby Cruz and Ford Arau.
Third foul ni Arau yun, ano ha?
Yes, flagrant foul was called against Ford Arau. That's why USC retains possession.
Let's send it to Donna on the other side of the floor.
Yes, Coach Pido just threw a few reminders to his boys. That is, be patient to the offense, and of course, be quick to think and to move. No, Sam, assistant coach Beijing told me this. It's just work, work, work. But in the end, after all these, we are just human beings enjoying life, enjoying the sports, what we call basketball. Back to you, Sam.
Coach Pido trying to be philosophical in the heat of the kitchen here.
That's right, but a little problem with the defensive strategy for Ateneo. You do not want to leave Espiritu open for a 3. You do not want to help off the man of Espiritu. And they're going to pay dearly for that with Espiritu hitting his mark once again from the top of the key.
Espiritu with his third rainbow connection. Jerby Cruz with a difficult spin makes it a 10-point lead again for USD with 7:35 to go. Here's Intal looking inside. Escalona asking for it. Salamat trying to make a decision. Here's Intal. Shot clock continues to tick away. Ateneo's outside shooting is not here today.
Now a change up on the defensive strategy. Coach Pidorencio telling his players to go zone right away. And since Ateneo has not hit their mark from the outside from the first quarter up to now they're having second thoughts when taking those shots.
Difficult angle for Escalona to work with.
But it's one antidote every time you go up against a team who does a lot of zone defense. You want to speed up the offense and try to score on fast breaks. But of course, you have to have a little direction every time you do so.
There's Canlas trying to control the basketball. Gets it to go! Despite the fact that he was about to lose it, managed to keep his poise and establish a 12-point lead for Uste. And a timeout requested by Norman Black. Look at this. He almost lost it, but maintained his poise, and they erupted. 6:38 to go. Back in a moment. 18,000 is the official count. No, hindi ho biglang may pumasok na 1,000. Ano? Baka naman kala nyo nung kumain lang sandali, binilang uli. But that's the official count. 18,000 fans on hand to witness game number 2. By the way, don't forget Sports TV will follow us right after this as Kuan. And it's batted outside by Escalona. Join George Rocha, Babian, Juno Rufino, and Trini Aguilar when we complete business here in the UAAP. And of course, you can watch UAAP replays whenever there are games 8 o'clock on Channel 26 Sky Cable. Now, this is the moment of truth for the Blue Eagles. They have to make a run at this point. You don't want to know who Babian is, of course. That's Babian and George Rocha. Smiling. I don't want to talk about them. Kasi sikat na naman si Babian.
Yun na nga eh.
Ayoko. Si George Rocha na lang pag-usapan natin. 6:20 remaining. George, of course, was a courtside reporter for De La Salle Green Archers before she moved on to other things. I like the way UST has just found an answer for everything that Ateneo has come up with here today.
They're playing with so much confidence.
Yes.
Time and again.
Nakalimutan na yung stigma ng Grade 1 eh. Japsko at altering the tempo. And last 6 and 10 remaining. 10 on the shot clock. Through traffic.
So the ploy of Coach Pido Horencio is for Jervy Cruz to just touch the basketball and then see what the defense does. And once the ball is kicked out, Espiritu will either look for an outside shot or look for a penetration. And that time he opted to penetrate and got a foul. Espiritu, one of the guys really who shot well from the outside, from the opening quarter up to this point. But unfortunately, he missed his first free throw. So Espiritu starting in this ball game to score 10 points.
Before that, had nothing but three-pointers.
That's right.
But you like the timing of his three-pointers. Kasi yun yung time na humahabol ang Ateneo.
Yun na nga.
Biglang pamatay sunog yung kanyang...
Mabigat yung tinira niya.
Now Chris Jones back in the ballgame. Keep in mind, he'll be playing with 4 personal fouls. Here's Intal waiting for the offense to flow. They go to Chris Chiu. Shot clock coming down to 4 seconds. Will there be a shot? Escalona close range.
That was a lucky pass there and a lucky execution for Ateneo. USC thought that Chris Chiu was going to take that shot, and that left Maki Escalona open for that point-blank shot. Perspective-wise, there's still a lot of time left for Ateneo. They're only down by 11 points, 74 to 63. But they have to make the necessary stops right now.
Yes, Ateneo coaching staff demanding that they pressure the players early, the USC players earlier, and a foul off the rebound. Is this Jojo Duncil? I'm checking now. Yes, I think it is Duncil who's crashing to the floor, who has crashed to the floor. Duncil claiming that he was elbowed there, and the foul will be his third. And the team foul situation is 3 fouls against UST, 3 against Ateneo. Time remaining, 5 and 13. 11-point lead. Nakita natin, rumali ang Ateneo ng mabilis kanina. 8 points yung 13-15 na hinabol nila.
Hinabol agad eh.
They came within 6 as Al-Husseini thought about it. A little too cramped, too tight. But Escalona launches. That shot has not been met. Kramer trying to fight for the rebound inside. Will get an opportunity from the free throw line.
The scoring frequency of Doug Kramer has stopped in the first quarter. Again, I've mentioned it earlier, 6 points scored of his 8 in the first. And he has not been getting a lot of touches every time Ateneo executes their offense. So he's getting a lot of his points from offensive rebounds and putbacks. And there's a good chance for Ateneo to come back. The clock is not moving. They're shooting free throws. Maski pa paano, bumababa yung kalamangan ng UST. So, UST at this point still cannot play defensive basketball. They still should continue to attack and score on every possession that is given them.
Well, if Ateneo could score a basket
That's
with
right.
a second remaining.
Yes.
How much more with 4:55? I'm sure those lessons will stick to the minds of the USC players. They will try to play it smart here without losing their aggressiveness. Because if you play not to lose, that could be disadvantageous.
That's right.
Jeff Skuan waiting for the offense to flow. Shot clock coming down now to 7. USC needs to make a shot here. A move. Ababu. Yes.
Once again, Dylan Ababu.
Yes. Just Dylan Ababu.
Yes. Saving the day for the Growling Tigers.
Intal 3. No, it's not there. And Norman Black knows it. Japskuan doing a fine job of altering the tempo, controlling the clock for UST. Evangelista, Ababu. Cruz. Kramer applying body pressure. And the shot clock running out on UST.
The ball took a little long there in the hands of Jerby Cruz. Really cannot figure out how to elude the defense of Doug Kramer. So for Ateneo, 11 points down, 76-65. 3:45 remaining in the game. They still have a chance, but they have to score on this possession.
Bad pick. No.
Oh, now USC has to play smart. A flagrant foul will be called against Espiritu. His second in today's ball game.
Last thing you want, and this is for both sides, for you to get caught in that mind game wherein you commit those flagrant fouls.
That's right. So two things. One, Chris Chu will go to the free throw line and shoot 2 free throws. The other one, Ateneo retains possession. But again, the bigger penalty here is that since it is already the second flagrant foul called against Espiritu, he might be out of this ball game, or he is out of this ball game. That's bad.
Anthony Espiritu out of the playing court.
And that's it. He's been ejected from the playing court because of the second unsportsmanlike foul. I think he'll be ahead in the showers.
At least.
Teachers.
But he played so well.
Yes.
3 3-point shots, a total of 10 points. And he was also tasked to guard Chris Chu. It was a miserable night for Chris Chu. Only, well, it's a usual number for Chris Chu, but 12 points for him. Pero hirap na hirap ang mga tira ni Chris Chu. But the guy who will shoot the free throws is Maki Escalona. I think it was Escalona who was fouled by Espiritu.
Escalona missing the first. Escalona 0-3. Let's see if we can catch this here. Direk Abed Ramos and Ada Carlos, our producer.
Oh, that's right there.
Boom.
Oh, Maki missing 2 free throws.
0 of 4 from the free throw line today. 3:40 to go. Ental and Escalona expect USC to call a timeout. Should Ateneo score here? Doug Kramer taps it in.
Right, there was Jerby Cruz to offer help side defense, but nobody gave a body in front of Doug Kramer, who is the original man of Jerby. That's why it's an easy shot for Doug Kramer.
And the expected timeout, because I'm not a genius. I saw Pido Arecho signal to the bench and say if the basket goes in, they'd call a timeout. I'm not that guy. Final 3:26, 76-67, 9-point lead by the Tigers, hoping to tie up the series. That'll go. Doncel with a heartbreaker.
So just a little breather given to him by Coach Pido Arecho was enough to clean his gun once again.
Yes. But the game of Dylan Ababu, simply spectacular here today. You know, Ateneo had focused their attention on Cruz, but they were not really prepared. They were not ready for the onslaught of Dylan Ababu here today.
That's a very good point. Jerby Cruz only 8 points here in this ball game. Or 10 points, I stand corrected, but the other guys really have come to play. I'm talking about Jojo Duncil with 18 points and Dylan Ababu with 19 in this ball game.
Ental with 22 points as well as 8 rebounds. Struggling from the free throw line, 2 of 5. 10-point lead. 3 minutes and 2 remaining. Cuts it to 9. Here's Duncil. And loses control. Now Jojo will have to calm down. He'll have to lead this team.
That's right. Only 7 seconds was chopped off from our game clock. And Jojo Duncil turning that ball over. 6 of 19 from the field, 18 points total for Jojo Duncil after only 2 of 12 for 9 points in game 1.
Intal will use the glass miss. Kramer goes up, nothing there. And maybe that's all she wrote for this game. Let's see.
They had their chances. Doug Kramer getting that offensive rebound, but trying to use a little body to create contact. Jervy Cruz for him to get fouled, but unfortunately, while doing so, he lost his target and missing that point-blank shot.
Ababu is trying to sneak in, and Evangelista snaps, won't make it. Ababu tries to haul it down, unable to do so. Here comes Chris Chu, 2 minutes and 10 remaining. Chris Chu, behind the back pass, misfires, and this is not going anywhere for the Blue Eagles today.
So for the Growling Tigers, they miss a shot, but the most important thing right now is for them to play defense. They're up by 9 points with less than 2 minutes left. So shot clock is definitely on their side.
There's Jump Squad. Down the middle, goodbye! And Ateneo needs a timeout. A minute and 46, but UST, listen to them roar! Down the middle goes their main point guard. And down the middle, their chances of tying up this series. 1:46 to go, back in a moment. A minute and 46, by the way, protect La Mesa, protect the water resources in the country. As JC Intel attacks, it won't bite. And here comes USD out of the jam. And they're looking good and well on their way to tying up the series. Text LM_space, protect space, name, address, sent to 2366 for Globe and 231 for Smart. So it's back to the drawing board, especially for the Blue Eagles here as Cruz uncorks. Reyes blocks it. They need threes here. Kramer attacking, and he is fouled in the air.
Right, this is the situation for UST right now. 80-69, they're up by 11 with 1 and 12 remaining here in this ball game. From all indications, they might survive game 2. But the bigger thing is right now is the 2 flagrant fouls called against Espiritu. I'm not sure if we can play in the next game, Seb. That we have to check. But of course, every time you get thrown out in a particular game, the following game, you have to sit it down.
That happened to Jojo Duncil.
That's right.
When he had fouled, a flagrant foul, he was ejected from the game, and he fouled Katamora of NU. In the meantime...
And how big is his spirit,
Yes.
Seb? 10 points in this ball game, 3 3-point shots for him, and he is one of the best targets of Jervy Cruz once Jervy gets doubled inside the post.
I like the way also, and you were mentioning this to me, the way USD shut down the other players. JC Intal frolicked, enjoyed himself scoring-wise, but JC Intal had no other help.
That's right. We still have 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining here in this ball game. JC has played more than 38 minutes, so that means he's been playing all game long, and he has taken 23 shots right now. So fatigue factor might be catching up, or might have caught up on JC Intal here in today's ball game.
The only other help coming for Ateneo came from Kramer's 14. Chris Chu had a good third quarter with 12 points.
Right. Free throw shooting accuracy will be put to a test right now. Jojo Duncil going to the free throw line. He was fouled, of course. It's the ploy of Coach Norman Black to stop the clock and give a little pressure for the USC players to shoot their free throws. Down by 9 at this point. The most important thing for the Growling Tigers really is to make sure that every time they go to the free throw line, they make those baskets.
A clarification being made by the official. Salamat is drawn out, and Chu is back in the ball game. They just wanted to be spick and span about it. Duncil nails the first, Mrs. Evangelista rather, with a big smile on her face. Francisco, sorry. This is Francisco. You can correct me anytime. Come here.
Kaya nga
I've got
tandem.
my,
Sa'yo ko nakuha yun. Kaya
I've got my Evangelistas Franciscos and Mrs. Francisco, I'm sorry. You know, in the truck they panic when I make a mistake. Parang, hey, you can tell me when I make a mistake. It's all right. Like the other day, I kept calling a junior player by another name. Nobody was correcting me. I killed Magsanok. I said, correct me when I'm wrong. Mrs. Francisco will love me forever. Don't worry. Don't worry about me and Mrs. Francisco. I'm sure Mrs. Evangelista is also happy because the UST has an Evangelista player. And Ateneo's woes continue.
The free throw, especially Maki Escalona, 0-5 in today's ball game from the free throw line. So that's something that he can work on tomorrow, Sunday, before.
If they have practice tomorrow.
Practice tomorrow, that's right.
Well,
before they go on and play that
game on
rubber
Monday.
match on Monday.
I think most likely they will. Both teams will. A minute to go and UST a masterful job. There's one team that really can match up against Ateneo aside from UST. It's got to be Adamson, but UST does a good job of matching up against Ateneo because of the height factor.
Yes, and I've questioned the mental toughness earlier because it's really hard to come back after that very confidence shattering loss in game one. But obviously, Coach Pido Arencio really gave great motivating words rather for his players to come out really strong like this in game two.
Yes. I like the way he coached at the end when Kramer made that basket. He pulled his team together. Oh, isa lang yan. Mga parang sinasabi niya body language. A shot ng Vincent and Dennis Espino just enjoying this UST moment. And Tal and the guns of Ateneo have been silenced. You know, in that game, all those star players from UST were delighted over the development and nothing prepared them for that basket by Kramer. And now Ateneo has to prepare itself for game number 3. It's not a day for celebrating for the Blue Eagles.
So it's not just one player showing up here for the Growling Tigers. And the biggest contributor here in game 2 is the guy who's shooting his free throws right now, Dylan Ababu. Came off the bench, really scored a lot of his points in the second quarter wherein UST outscored the Ateneo de Manila University 27-19, and right now 20 big points for him.
And a career high for Ababu. And now 42.6 seconds to go. UST on its way to winning this one. Now let's take a look down the road. Even Stevens series, 1-point game, that's been forgotten. Now UST with a major reply, a double-digit win. What's going to happen, Coach?
Obviously, the momentum is on the side of UST. But every time you play a sudden death situation, you throw away everything, even the statistics, even the odds, because it doesn't matter anymore. But for Coach Norman Black, perspectives-wise, this is what you get if you win Game 1. You can afford to lose Game 2 and still have a chance at winning the crown if you win Game 3. So it's not all lost for Ateneo de Manila University. They are the best team after the elimination round. And of course, they'll come out fighting with so much energy. He doesn't have to come up with a halftime speech in Game 3 because his players will definitely be motivated, Seb.
And this series is tied as UST replies to that loss in game number 1 with a major comeback, winning by 16 against the Blue Eagles, 87-71. We'll take a short break and try to wrap up game number 2 with a nice ribbon after this. Final score again, 87-71, UST winning this game, game number 2, and sending this to a rubber match and a winner-take-all. Use all the metaphors and all the lines you like. It'll be all for everything on Monday. And now time now for a Nokia best play of that last quarter. Simply a controlled game by UST. Every time Ateneo would rally, they had a response. And Dylan Ababu, just a sterling performance.
Oh yes, came off the bench to score 20 big points after scoring just 4 points in game 1. So a great relief from this guy coming off the bench for Coach Pido Horencio.
And he is, of course, our best performer here today, Dylan Ababu of UST, emerging as our best player with a career-high performance, actually.
And big-time players come into play in big-time situations. And Dylan Ababu, especially in the second quarter, he was just jumping over everybody to score on putbacks, to score on end-one situations. And Dylan finishing off this ball game with 22 points, I stand corrected, 9 rebounds, 2 assists on a very high 9 of 11 field goal shooting.
Mrs. Francisco, nag-cheerleader doon. Kasi tinawag kong Fernandez Evangelista. And UST enjoying this moment. Back in a while to really wrap it up. We'll give you the schedule come Monday. And Miss, she's enjoying herself. She'll forgive me. Trust me.
Siguro hati yan.
Trust me.